David Nathan, in his take on Gladys Knight in his book, The Soulful Divas, is up next. Let's talk. What's up, everybody, and welcome back over here to Peppy's Point of View. I am your R&B historian, Peppy. And today we're talking about Gladys Knight in David Nathan's book, The Soulful Divas. Today has kind of been a long day for me, and I'm just a little tired. And well, today I won't be showing my lovely face. I'm just tired. So if it seems like I am out of energy, lacking in energy, it hasn't not been one of those days. It's just that, well, I just been chilling all day on this break from the office, and so I decided that I wanted to squeeze in another video for you guys. So let's just hop right into it, okay? And once again, I will inform everyone that I am not affiliated with Gladys Knight, nor am I affiliated with David Nathan. So this is not like a paid promotion, me promoting the book or anything like that. Pretty much basically what I like to do is just learn more about my R&B divas. And so what I'm going to do today is just read just the first page of the chapter on Gladys Knight. And yes, for those of you out there, I am still reading Gladys Knight's book, Between Each Line of Pain and Glory. And let's just get right down to the real nitty gritty, okay? All right, let's see what David has to say. This is my first time reading this chapter, so it's going to be interesting what I find. All right, let's start. I get my natural high just singing, Gladys Knight said with a big grin. She was sitting in her room at a plush hotel that was a little way down the street from fashionable Knightsbridge, home to Harrods, London's famous store. It had been a long day for Gladys and the Pips. Brother Merrill, nicknamed Bubba, and cousins Edward and William. The publicist had made it clear, either I wait patiently for Gladys to return from a quick shopping trip and have dinner with her, or we don't do any interview. What? As if I could say no. I don't remember all the details of our meeting, such as what she was wearing or what she had to eat. But I do remember that Gladys came across with the kind of genuine, down-to-earth manner that has made her one of the most basic divas. No pretense, no airs and graces, just a down-home good woman who was happy to talk about her life and career. Oh gosh, well, first of all, I will say this on his take on her being a down to earth manner. Uh, I think about when Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle did their verses, and I must say, uh, with everything that was going on at the time with in the country when Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle did their verses, I must say it was a welcome reminder of just basic common sense and camaraderie, and just to me it was kind of like I guess I needed it, their verses, because it was just too much going on at the time, and I don't know, it just I don't know. I think I understand what David was saying about Gladys Knight's personality, but I have to say I'm a little bit shocked at the way it was presented to David as far as, listen, you're either going to wait patiently for Gladys to return from a quick shopping trip and have dinner with her, or you just don't do it at all. And I don't know, a person such as myself, I'm like, well, okay. I mean, it's not that serious for you to say it to me like that. But, what would have done if I walked away from the interview? I'm just saying that was just kind of a little too demanding. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, let's keep moving. Gladys balked only when I mentioned Aretha Franklin and inquired whether people had compared the two since Aretha had her commercial breakthrough in 1967 and Gladys and the Pips had started a run of Motown hits at the same time. I was comfortable enough in her presence to speculate that many of Aretha's songs seemed to be based on her own experiences, especially in her relationship with men. Well, that's Aretha, Gladys said. The only time she got just a little bit frosty during the 2 hours we spent together. The songs I sing may not necessarily come from situations I've experienced, so I use my vivid imagination. And no, I don't consider we're similar vocally. And that, to paraphrase one of Gladys's and the Pips' 50 odd hits, was the end of that road. Woo! Baby, that's all I have to say about that. It is a little touchy, isn't it? Even when I am doing my take on, R&B divas and people in general, I guess sometimes you have to be mindful of, how people feel about being compared to others, especially when it comes down to creativity. Don't you think? When you're a creative person, when you are um what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe like if you're in sports or entertainment, sometimes people can feel a certain kind of way with you comparing and contrasting them with someone else. I mean, no, I am not that person, and so on and so forth. You know, woo child. So I can understand, the hesitation. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's the hesitation. The matter of fact response that David got from Gladys when he asked her that question. Or maybe not. 26 years after my first face-to-face interview with Gladys, I'm sitting in the ballroom of the Sheraton Hotel in Manhattan, and Gladys is reuniting with the Pips while the entire group is honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Rhythm and Blues Foundation. This is a trip down memory lane for most of those in attendance as Gladys and the Pips deliver hit after hit from Letter Full of Tears to the inevitable Midnight Train to Georgia. Stevie Wonder gives the group its much deserved award, and he and Gladys tell a funny story. I remember when we were on the road and Stevie would keep messing around with this song, Gladys smiles. He kept telling us he was writing it for us. She breaks into the melody of Until You Come Back to Me, That's What I'm Going to Do. And Stevie laughs. I wonder what happened to that song, Gladys. Stevie quips. Aretha Franklin, Gladys roars. Everyone is chuckling, especially since they know that Gladys makes it plain in between each line of Pain and Glory in 1997, her 1997 autobiography, that she had her share of problems with dealing with Aretha. Oh my gosh, I got to read the book. I got the book, but I got to get to that part. Now it makes sense. Oh, child. Gladys and Aretha and Gladys and Diana Ross. Woo! I got to find that part in the book. In her book, Gladys alleges that Aretha snubbed her at a Grammy event years before, as well as that. Although the two had occasionally spoken, there has always been some distance between them as a result of Aretha's coolness toward her. Some weeks after the publication of Gladys's autobiography, Aretha sends a photograph of the two of them sitting together to sitting together to Jet magazine, wondering how much closer they could be. The Diva saga continues. In reality, through the 27 years with the Pips and another 10 as a solo artist, Gladys has clearly established her own legacy. In comparison with other female singers seems pointless. It hadn't been easy, especially after she finally ventured out on her own in 1988. Even though Gladys had an instantly recognizable vocal tone and style, the public perception was that she was part of a musical institution. That I agree with that. In the same way that Patti LaBelle had stepped out from the group LaBelle 10 years before, Gladys wasn't sure how the record-buying public would respond and why her solo performances have won rave reviews, and she managed to establish her own identity as a super diva. Her record sales haven't necessarily matched her general popularity. In a 1994 interview for Blues and Soul at the San Fernando Valley home she shared with her now ex-husband Les Brown, Gladys told me that she made Just For You her last album for MCA, for my fans, the folks who aren't 16 anymore, who crave the kind of music I'm known for. That kind of music has its roots way back in the early recordings of the family group known as the Pips. Like so many other soulful divas, Gladys first sang in public church, specifically in Mount Moriah's Baptist Church in Atlanta. But unlike any of her contemporaries, she won first prize on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour, the popular 1950s national television show, at the age of 8, captivating audiences in 1952 with her rendition of Nat King Cole's Too Young, and walking home with a check for $2,000. That same year, she and brother Merrill were singing together at his birthday party when their sister Brenda and young cousins Eleanor and William Guest joined the action. James Pip Woods, another older cousin, thought the quintet had potential and began working with the Pimps as they became known. Gladys was just 10 when the family group started performing at the Royal Peacock, a popular musical spot in Atlanta. Just 2 years later, in 1956, the Pips were on the road with Sam Cooke and Jackie Wilson, two of the hottest hit makers of the day. Oh, wow, that is interesting. That's interesting. You know, I guess what I'm kind of getting out of this right now is how personal certain things can be, you know, and how competitive uh things can be between these R&B divas that I like so much, and how, while it's a big um industry, big as in a lot of people in it, at the same time it's very small because, well, there's just so many people in it, which makes it small, right? And I guess what I'm saying is that you never think about things like, song selections when songs are being presented to, an artist, and for whatever reason politics get involved, money gets involved, and you know you want the song, and then the song turns around to be another hit for another R&B diva, and you kind of get, you feel a little salty about it, and wow, this here is amazing. But as I said, I do have the book, Gladys Knight book, Between Each Line of Pain and Glory, so I can't wait to get to that part in the book to see what that's all about. But anyway, just a little tidbit on Gladys Knight and what David Nathan had to say about her, you know. So it is what it is. On that note, if you made it this far in the video, then I would think it's appropriate for me to ask you, go ahead on and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And also my motto over here is very simple. Put your behind where your heart desires to be. And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. You guys take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you next video.